first, let me preface this before I go into my tangent for this video. I mentioned in a post on the channel that I was working on another video. This is not that video, okay? The video that I was actually working on, by the time I finished recording, I ended up with 3 hours worth of footage. So yeah, that's gonna take a little while to finally edit down and get everything out. So in the meantime, I'm making this video to hopefully put out in between this one and then the next one that's gonna come out. Just something just in the meantime while I'm working on 3 hours worth of footage. So my last video, I talked about the trope that I hate the most, or at least pretty up there in terms of hate, was harems. I despise harems. I think that for the women in harems, they just do not act like they have any sort of self-respect whatsoever. And the guys, they are too much of a bunch of cowards to finally pick a woman and then move on with their lives. Now, I mentioned that there were good examples of harems out there, but I mostly just don't like the trope overall. At the end of the day, it's a matter of preference, what you like, what you don't like. It's completely up to you, no judgment from me. I just couldn't stand the trope. So today's video is going to be yet another rant about another trope that I hate. And if you didn't read the title or look at the thumbnail, the trope that I hate the most, almost as much, if not more than harems, is the romantically dense trope, or oblivious to love, whichever term you prefer. Now, I don't really like Google AI or really any AI in general. I feel like they tend to just steal a bunch of information and don't properly cite their resources, but I just had to use this definition because I just felt like it perfectly encapsulated what this trope is. A romantically dense anime trope refers to a character, usually the main protagonist, who is completely oblivious to romantic advances or clear signs of affections from others, often failing to recognize that someone is romantically interested in them even when the signs are quite obvious, leading to comedic or frustrating situations within the story. This perfectly encapsulates what romantically dense, oblivious to love, whatever you want to call it. This definition is that to a T. That's why I just had to use it. So why do I hate this trope so much? Well, I feel like the two main reasons that I can give kind of go hand in hand with one another. Reason number one, it creates very annoying, aggravating characters. I have a personal pet peeve. It's something me and my dad have a lot in common. We hate stupid people. I just can't stand them. It's why I could barely get through middle school and high school without almost losing my mind every single day. I just hate stupidity with a fiery passion. And this trope is just stupid people on steroids for the sake of plot. What? How? It can't get any worse than that, right? Like the definition said, these characters just can't seem to see the very obvious signals that literally anyone else in the entire world would have noticed a long time ago. What are you missing here? It's so blatantly obvious. Can they be any clearer? It's usually to advance the plot, comedic timing, whatever other reason they tend to give, but usually it's for BS reasons that no one can really explain away. And I get it to an extent. I, as the viewer, have a bird's eye view of everything that's going on in the world. I'm essentially like a god just looking at these people. I do not have a god complex, okay? So I get it. If I were in that situation, it'd probably take me a second to see, oh, does this person really like me? But then again, no, I don't think it would. No, I don't think most of us would, right? If someone says something like, I like you, how else are you gonna take it? There's really no other way to take I like you. There's literally no other way. There is no excuse for something that obvious, right? Okay, that's point number one. Point number two, it drags on for way too long. Can you imagine something you absolutely hate to keep seeing happening over and over and over again, and then they drag it out for 12 episodes, 24 episodes, 4 seasons, 5 seasons? Can you imagine seeing that? It's at that point, admit that you see it, but you're just playing dumb for whatever other reasoning that you have. I'll take that. I will take I see what they're saying, I just don't want to reciprocate. Or I'm just going to keep playing dumb because I'm not mature enough to have a conversation about it. I will take that over you saying, you like me? What does that mean? What do you mean? What does that mean? Excuse me? Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of animes out there that use this trope really well and it works really good. And it is a great show that I would recommend to pretty much everybody. You got My Dress Up Darling. You got My Story. You got The Dangers in My Heart. You got so many good examples out there of using this trope really well. Definitely watch them if you haven't seen them already. Then again, they're pretty popular, so good chances are you've probably already seen them. But then you got shows out there that are an absolute dumpster fire and they drag on this trope for too long with characters too stupid to justify it lasting that long. Shows that I think use this trope really, really badly are My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, Vampire Dormitory, and the most hot take of these, From Me to You. I will not go into detail about why I don't like From Me to You. At least not this video. Maybe another one. Definitely not this one. I ain't got time for that. For now, I'm gonna trash on another anime that definitely deserves it, okay? But before we get into a dumpster fire of a show that should never have got the green light to begin with, let's start with a good example, okay? Spoiler warning, okay? You have been warned. Alright, 3, 2, 1, here we go. So I mentioned this anime earlier, that it's a good example of using the Oblivious to love trope really well. The anime I'm talking about is The Dangers in My Heart. Now this is a really good show. Definitely go watch it if you have not seen it. I just found out while doing research for this video that it's getting a movie. It's getting a movie! Yay! You just love it when a good anime actually keeps getting sequels and maybe even a movie. So here's the synopsis for Dangers if you don't already know what the show is about. Fascinated by the macabre, Kyotaro fantasizes about acting on his twisted thoughts to the detriment of his classmates. His heart was dark until an encounter with Anna lit a spark within it in the classic tale of boy meets girl. So for future reference, I'm gonna call them by their family names. I'm gonna call Kyotaro Ichikawa and Anna is gonna be Yamada. Alright, cool. So there are plenty of reasons to like The Dangers in My Heart. I think the number one reason that I have is super likable characters and personal growth. That's technically two reasons, but they go hand in hand, okay? Yamada and Ichikawa feel like super real, super relatable characters. They don't even feel like characters. They feel like I'm watching just real people just doing their thing out in the real world. Creepy when I said it out loud, but it's true. Just watching them grow as people, just seeing them become more confident in themselves, figure out who they are and what they want to do in their life. I just really enjoyed watching that. It was so sweet to watch and I just loved every second of it. So kind of going a bit more in depth to what the synopsis says. Ichikawa is into macabre. I don't think I pronounced that right.
Nope.
Whatever. So Ichikawa is into death, murder, creepy stuff like that. Thank God this anime takes place in Japan and not America, because we all know what type of student Ichikawa would have turned out to be in America. But thankfully those feelings don't last really all that long. He wants to hurt his classmates, not even hurt. He wants to murder his classmates Yamada simply because she's pretty and popular. Pretty shallow stuff, right? We all know what type of classmate Ichikawa would become if he were an American student, thank God. But thankfully those feelings don't last very long, because he sees that Yamada is just this sweet, goofy, kind of weird, quirky girl that just loves her snacks like any good person would. He sees her for who she truly is. Eventually those feelings of murder turn into heartwarming, romantic feelings, and it is absolutely adorable. Thank God, because if he was constantly going to go on that whole I want to kill her thing for more than an episode, I was going to cut it off. I wasn't about to watch that. Why would I want to see that? This isn't You. Okay? That Netflix show, You, yo, I cut that off after like, what season was that? 3? 2? One of those. I just gave up. I couldn't anymore. So they just kind of start off as strangers who just so happen to just be in the same class together. But eventually over time, they learn about one another and become more confident in who they are as people. And you get to see not only their friendship grow, but their romance grow too. And it's so super sweet. But they don't just jump into the romance. No. That's what I really like about the show. Personal growth. They let the characters grow as they become closer to one another. Ichikawa is a socially inept boy who really doesn't know how to socialize with his fellow classmates and actually has no friends whatsoever. But over time, he becomes more confident in himself. He gets closer to the boys around him in his class, and it's so super sweet to see him become more confident and gaining more friends. You love to see this little boy who had no friends, just into his quirky, weird little books. I call murder bricks quirky, good God, and have more friends by the end of it. It's so super sweet, and not even just guys. The girls are no longer creeped out by him, and it's so super cute to see. Then you got my girl Yamada over there. Now Yamada, like I said, she's the class idol, but she always felt that she didn't really know what she wanted to be until she finally gains more confidence and it's like, you know what? I want to be a model. I want to be in movies. I know what I want to do now. And now that she knows, she's got the confidence to go out and do it. No longer feeling self-esteem issues. She's no longer questioning or doubting herself. She's become more confident in it. And as each character grows, as Ichikawa becomes more sociable, more confident, Yamada becomes more confident in who she is and what she wants to do. And she's like, yes, I want to get this done. She goes out and gets more roles. She becomes more confident in herself. And after all that personal growth of Ichikawa helping out Yamada and Yamada helping out Ichikawa, them just becoming closer over time, it all pays off at the very end when they finally get together. Ah, it's so cute. It made the wait well worth it. Now, where does the oblivious to love trope come in, right? Where does that come in? Ichikawa doesn't fully understand how he feels about Yamada. His feelings for her went from, oh, I want to kill her, to, oh, she's actually a nice girl and I want to protect her, to realizing, oh, wait, no, I'm just in love with her. Like, he eventually does realize it, and it's so nice to see. Okay, so I kind of missed the main point that I was trying to make earlier about how this show falls into the oblivious to love trope to begin with. Yamada is constantly sending signals to Ichikawa. It's not that he's stupid, he knows that she's sending signals, it's that he lacks the self-confidence to assertively say, yes, she is in love with me, yes, our feelings are mutual. So anytime that she sends a signal, he immediately goes, wait, does she like me? But then he backtracks and it's like, no, I'm just reading too much into it. There's no way she actually likes me, right? Even though everyone, all of their classmates, all of their friends, everyone can see that Yamada is also into Ichikawa. He is the only one that doesn't see it, or he's not confident enough to just recognize the feelings for what they are. He's pessimistic, he lacks self-confidence, low self-esteem, so of course somebody like that isn't going to accept that the hot girl in their class likes him back. So yeah, that was the point I was trying to make earlier. Ichikawa can see the signals that Yamada is sending. He sees them. He initially thinks, oh my gosh, does she like me? But then he'll immediately backtrack and say, nope, there's no way that Yamada of all people is into me. So yeah, that was the point I was trying to make earlier, but just completely missed the mark. But even though both Ichikawa and Yamada have understood within themselves how they felt, the show still lets them develop individually as people while still helping each other out before letting the romance finally blossom. Like I said, personal growth is like the main driving force of the plot, and I really do super love that. The character development of seasons 1 and 2 makes the confession at the end of the second season totally worth it. They've both grown as people, they both understand how they feel on the inside about one another, they understand how the other person feels about them. Why keep beating around the bush? Let's finally just get it out the way. And they do! That confession at the end of the second season was so cute. Oh my gosh, it was downright adorable. I almost shed a tear. No, I didn't. I don't cry when it comes to anime. Except for you, Assassination Classroom. You get me every time. And yeah, that's just me speed running why I like Dangers so much. Really great characters, super likable, amazing character development. Yes, they use the trope, but it's not their only excuse for why it keeps on pushing the plot forward. Like I said, they grow as people along the way. And once they do finally understand how they feel about one another, it really is just a matter of time before they finally confess. And yes, it is definitely worth it. I cannot recommend the show enough. Go watch it if you haven't already seen it. But chances are it was super popular, super well liked. You probably already seen it. But hey, that was just my take on it. But enough being positive, okay? I'm here to rant. I'm here to tell you why I'm angry. So I mentioned this anime earlier, and it's the freaking thumbnail. But the anime that I feel uses this trope extremely poorly. No excuses, no fluff, no nothing. It's just absolute garbage. Is Vampire Dormitory. Here's the synopsis. After Mito loses her parents and is fired from her job, she must fend for herself on the streets disguised as a boy. She comes across a stranger named Ruka and learns his dark secret. He's a vampire! Freaking vampires, I can't. Ruka invites Mito, still in disguise, to live in an all-boys dorm. Mito exchanges her blood for a place to stay, but a budding romance and her true identity threatens all that hang in the balance. So what don't I like about Vampire Dormitory? I'll give you a second to guess, okay? Okay, no more guessing time. It's everything. Everything is wrong with Vampire Dormitory. There's not a single redeeming quality about it. Not even the fact that it has somewhat cute characters. But it definitely doesn't hurt to have a cute boy on your show. I'm just saying. Not even that. It having cute characters does not excuse what a garbage fire of an anime this show truly is. Now, I mentioned this earlier as well. Stupidity is a pet peeve of both me and my dad. We can't stand stupid people with a passion, okay? And these characters are stupidity incarnate. Stupidity personified. Just take stupid, put them on legs, and boom, you got the main cast here. I hate these characters so much. The things that they do are just mind-boggling. Like, no person acts or thinks like this. They only get away with it because it's a freaking anime, which, no duh, is an anime. Of course you can do things in an anime that you can't obviously do in the real world. obviously, right? But stupidity can only get you but so far. Like, don't get me wrong, stupid can be funny. Luffy's dumb, alright? Him not acknowledging how Boa feels about him, that's just funny, okay? Then again, I am a bit biased, so take that with a grain of salt. But these characters, Vampire Dormitory, their stupid's not funny. It's just aggravating. Now let me explain why their stupid is not only not funny, but they really ain't got no excuse for being this dumb for this long. Okay, so the conflicts of the main show. Ruka is supposed to become the founder of Vampire Society. The founder is basically their next king or whatever. And as the next founder, he is supposed to find his fated one. A girl that he is supposed to be with for the rest of his life, okay? Conflict number 2, Mito hiding her gender. These are legitimate reasons for why they cannot be together. Mito hid her gender because it was a safe way to keep her protected out on the streets while she was homeless. I can't fault her for that. That might have actually protected her while she was out there on the streets. So I kinda get it. And Ruka has his own personal reasons for why he doesn't like to drink the blood of females. I don't care. I hate him. I really don't care about his trauma. But more importantly, like I said, Ruka is supposed to be the next founder and he needs to find his fated female partner, okay? So, even though he has feelings for Mito, who he thinks is a guy, technically in Vampire Society, or at least for the role of founder, he can't be with Mito the boy. So it makes sense why they won't confess to each other, right? That totally makes sense. Not even confess to one another. At least just acknowledge how they feel about one another. It makes sense. If Mito reveals that she is a girl, Ruka, because of his past trauma or whatever, will kick her out of the dorm and say, oh, we can't be together anymore. And she's not trying to end up homeless yet again. Ruka needs to find a female partner as the next founder, and Mito the boy unfortunately does not fit that description. So the conflicts make sense, right? They can't tell each other the truth too soon or else things are just going to blow up in their faces, right? It makes sense. Until it doesn't anymore and the show completely throws all those conflicts out the window. I'm not kidding, I'm so dead serious. Ruka ends up going on a date with Mito while she's dressed up as a girl. No more wig, no more boys' clothes. She looks, you know, like a typical girl, right? He goes on a date with Mito and it's like, oh my gosh, I found my fated female partner. And tell me how this fool doesn't see that Mito the girl or his fated love partner isn't just Mito but with longer hair. You look at the side-by-side comparison and tell me how he can't see that his fated partner is just Mito but in a freaking dress. How do you not see it? And if you tell me that this supernatural creature has face blindness, I'm gonna need you to stop the cap right now. That is utter bull. Stop the cap. So, like I said, he goes on a date with female Mito. He doesn't know that is Mito, but anyway, he goes on a date with her and it's like, oh my gosh, I found my fated partner. And Mito, she knows at this point that Ruka is in love with her as a girl. So why doesn't she just confess? Why? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because plot? Because they definitely need this to reach a certain amount of volumes to hit that quota? Because they need a certain amount of episodes? I don't know. How do you find out that Ruka loves you as a girl, but you still won't say anything to him? I don't understand. Clearly, he's not smart enough to see that his fated partner is literally just the male roommate that he's in love with, just in a dress. Clearly, he can't see that they're one and the same person. Same face, same voice, same body type. They're literally the same person. He at the very least could ask, hey, are you two related? I think I would have asked just to throw it out there. I could be way off, but hot dog, bruh, if they look like freaking twins, at least ask. Or maybe he's just that stupid that he just can't see it. I don't know. Who knows at this point? This one date completely throws all of their conflicts out of the way. There is no more conflicts. Ruka has now found his fated female partner, and Mito knows that he is in love with her as a female. Why they can't just have a simple conversation at this point, I don't know. And even if they were trying to develop the characters, they weren't doing it nearly to the same level as Danger's, okay? It wasn't the same. You can't even compare the character development between the two. So you might as well just Move it along, right? Talk to one another. Just have a conversation. I don't understand. What the freak are you waiting for? If Ruka isn't smart enough to connect the dots or solve the last piece of the 4-piece puzzle, why doesn't Mito say anything? I don't know. And then just to make matters even worse, Ruka is completely in denial about how he feels about Mito the male. Like, the bastard knows he's in love with Mito, but he just won't freaking say anything. He's just gonna keep being like, oh no, like he's just a friend, we're just roommates, I don't love him like that. Bastard, yes you do. What are you talking about? You know how you feel about him. Freaking confess, man. Who the fudge cares? But no, that's not where Ruka's stupidity or his garbage-like behavior ends, right? In the next episode, Ruka has the gall to ask Mito, how does he feel about Ren? Ren is the third side we were missing of the typical trope of the love triangle. Yes, this show also has a fudging love triangle because it's not like it's annoying enough without it. Of course they had to throw in a freaking love triangle. Man, whatever at this point. So he has the audacity to ask Mito, how does he feel about him? And Mito's just like, oh, he's a good guy. He's always looking out for me. Why do you ask? And Ruka, ooh, you stupid, inbred Alabama citizen. You clearly know why. He says, I don't know, it was just bothering me. Why was it bothering you, Ruka? Why would you care if some dude is crushing on the guy that you have a crush on? Why would you care, Ruka, if it wasn't for the very obvious fact that you're in love with Mito? Hang on, it gets even worse. So he tells Mito, I think I might have found my destined partner. And Mito is like, oh my gosh, I'm Ruka's destined partner. That means, yay, we can finally be together. Because before Mito can even say anything, if she was going to say anything to begin with, Ruka has the audacity to say, could you still support me like you always have? I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you. You snake bastard. Are you kidding me? So not only does the show have the oblivious to love trope, not only does the show have the love triangle, now this bastard is trying to establish a fudging harem. It's 3 for 3, y'all. Do I need any more reason to hate the show? Or at the very least, just hate Ruka. This guy is absolute scum. Then again, when you look up the definition of a thrall, like I should have done the first episode when he asked Mito to be his thrall, I should have seen it coming from a mile away. And Mito, the poor desperate girl, she says, yeah, I'll stay by your side. And Ruka, with that stupid look on his face, says, yeah, I'm so glad. Alright, good night. Yeah, you stupid. Ooh, I hate you. I'm not going to go into detail about what happens in the rest of the show. I don't care to remember it. It is too annoying to even recall right now. But at the very end of the season, Ruka and Mito do eventually get together after Ruka finally grows a fudging brain, or he's told. I don't remember how he learned or found out that Mito the boy is his fated love partner, the girl. I don't remember how. I'm not going to go back and rewatch it to remember. I really don't want to put myself through that again. But they basically get together after Ren brainwashed / memory wiped Mito. And then she got her memories back. And then they got together. I don't know. Every character in this show is scum. But there is a BL side plot with 2 of the supporting characters, which honestly, I would have preferred to watch. I'd rather not watch Mito, Ruka, Ren constantly going back and forth, ping-ponging between the 3 of them, who's gonna get the girl. I'd rather watch the BL side plot between Takara and Juri. That seems like an honestly much better show to watch. I wish I could have gotten that instead of what I was actually given. And to make it even worse, to put a rotten cherry on the crap-covered sundae that was this anime, they had the audacity to tease a second season. Yeah? You're gonna tease a second season? When you got good animes out there that was never given a second chance decades ago, this show might get another one? You got Yona of the Dawn. You got Claymore. You got Noragami. You got freaking Seraph of the End. You got so many good animes out there that never got a follow-up season. But Vampire Dormitory might? Where's the fairness? Good shows don't get a follow-up season. No, trash dumpster fires get another season. Make it make sense, world. I don't know. So to wrap it all up, those are the reasons why I really hate the oblivious to love / romantically dense trope. Stupid characters, and it drags on for way too long. Between my pet peeve of hating stupid people with a fiery passion, and then them dragging it on for the sake of plot, comedy, I use that term very loosely. Whatever reason they want to extend this trope way longer than it is freaking welcomed, I don't like it. Now, if it's in the name of good character growth like dangers, abso-freaking-lutely, I 100% understand. In shows like My Dress Up Darling 2, Gojo probably still needs time to become more confident in who he is and his passion before he finally accepts that Marin isn't just flirting with him just to tease him. She's flirting because she actually likes you. So maybe he still needs to grow as a person, which I agree with before they finally move on to the next step, which I am definitely here for. Keep going. Good character development, keep the trope going. I don't care. If it's funny, keep it going. If it's for the sake of just extending the plot to meet a volume quota or an episode quota, stop. Your characters aren't likable enough, your characters aren't smart enough to do it, and you're not doing a good job developing your characters or your world to excuse why this trope is still going. Stop it. You're not good enough. And Vampire Dormitory, you are the main culprit of this. But like I said, I am not calling for the death of this trope whatsoever. Keep using it. Not everyone's going to be able to pick up on the romantic cues that someone might be sending. Even if it's so blatantly obvious, you might as well have spray painted it on the wall. But hey, some people take a little longer to catch on. It's okay. We're not all the sharpest tools in the shed, alright? Even that BL anime from a while ago, Cherry Magic, the main character could literally read the minds of people that he touched. And he was still barely able to get into a relationship. So I get it, okay? But Vampire Dormitory, you get no passes.
You shall not pass!
You suck. I don't think you deserve a second season. Give that to Yona of the Dawn after so many years. And I hope Ruka burns in HE double hockey sticks because that bastard is absolute garbage. And so does Red because that brainwashing / memory wiping thing that he did, nah, they can both go burn in HE double hockey sticks. But that is the end of my rant. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to this point, I really do appreciate you. And since you made it this point, you might as well subscribe to the channel, right? Drop a like if you really did like it. And check out my previous video that I did on harems or any of my YouTube shorts that I have done. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.